Here's one final question that I think is the most important question to answer. How can I help my adolescent to be happy and fulfilled? This, to my mind, is the most valuable question. All the previous questions are covered within this answer. Learning to bring up a child requires us to look at ourselves, our beliefs and attitudes about the world very, very carefully. Be prepared to question and change with the world. If you have not already started this process, you will certainly need to do this during your child's adolescence. Your adolescent will naturally rebel against rules and authority figures. At the same time, they need trustworthy, strong examples. These provide a sense of reference and respite when coping with the limitless, intimidating world when their path away from childhood becomes too challenging. The body of the adolescent is activated beyond their control in a very short period of time. Spots, growth pains, effects of the hormones on their body and mind can be overwhelming. Your adolescent will be driven by emotions rather than logic. They need you to provide them a safe bridge-like environment upon which they can walk one foot from childhood to the other towards adulthood. In order to help your adolescent to prosper, you need to be a very good listener. Just like they were when they could not talk at the age of 1, they will be frustrated as they do not have the language to put their struggles and needs into words. So you need to be patient with them. Your calmness, confidence, emotional stability, respectfulness, strength, and availability for them will create the trust between the two of you to communicate in meaningful ways. You also need to be extra careful not to use information they give you against them. Do it once, you lose their trust forever. Building trust with adolescents is hard, but losing it is very easy. So you really need to be aware. Here is a list of concerns your adolescent is likely to struggle with which they will need some reassurance and guidance. Their fears, pleasures, anxieties, their bodies, the stages with which their body will evolve in the next years, perceptions, how they are understood and not understood, adulthood, their future plans. You can facilitate conversations on their expectations of themselves. I hear parents come to conclusions such as, the trouble with you is you don't persevere, you are lazy, accompanied with a tirade of criticism disguised as advice, often spoken with anger. Some parents reject their child by saying, I don't want a fearful son, you wimp, hoping that their child will have more courage as a result of being put down, ridiculed or shouted at. Some side always with the other party at the expense of their child without knowing the facts. For example, if they excluded you, you must have done something to deserve this. Be nice to them. You also need to encourage their search for identity. Your child needs to belong to different groups, pursue different activities. This is how they will be learning how to be in an adult world, not in the teachings in the school. Their tools will be their observations and experiences they had with you as parents and how you relate to the world. Your adolescent will learn what to be from the opposite sex parent and how to be from the same sex parent. She or he will experience difficulties in groups, sometimes moving away from a group or an activity, or they might be avoiding attachments and activities altogether. In all cases, it's important to understand what's happening without labeling the behavior or forcing the child toward a certain action. Here is how you can be a good listener. When your adolescent is talking to you, here is how you can be a good listener and how you can keep the conversation going. Control your initial emotional response, such as anxiety, anger, label or criticism, and continue listening. Make sure your body language is also reflecting this neutral attitude. Stop what you are doing and make eye contact before speaking. Do not attempt to solve their problems, because being listened to will frequently help your adolescent to come up with their own solutions for the world in which they live, such as school and local community. And that will be better. Be aware of your judgmental attitude, not only towards your child and their friends, but towards others as well, and change it. Harsh, rejecting comments may trip your adolescent into mental illness. Observe the emotional tone of your child. Think about what your child really needs to hear from you. When they ask your contributions, start with starting your observations without any trace of criticism and ask if you got it right. This simple feedback will help your child to recognize their emotions and calm themselves down. They can move their thinking and feeling forward more easily. Even when you disagree with your child, be gentle in your approach. The last thing you want for them to feel inadequate, unsupported, or even offended. You can achieve this by asking questions such as, what were you aiming to achieve with your friend when you told them off? Did it work? What would you have preferred to have done instead? What could you have done differently? Or you can make comments such as, I understand how you have lost your temper. I wonder what can be done now to repair your relationship with your friend. When you adopt these communication skills, you will find that your adolescent will approach you as a resource more often and in more meaningful ways than you have been used to. You and your loved ones are significant. To receive regular tips to help you achieve more autonomy, visit my page.